Near the end of 19th century, 35-year-old Jose Rizal turned into the Philippines' most beloved hero when he was martyred by the Spanish colonial government at Bagong Bayan. He died an extraordinary man of his times, renowned novelist, poet, ophthalmologist, journalist, and linguist. But behind these achievements, there remained the story of a man to whom every Filipino can relate and connect like today's overseas Filipino. Rizal needed to leave his family to fulfill his career and studies abroad, suffering from homesickness and enduring a long-distance relationship with the woman he loved the most. He was also the best example of the Filipino who come back home and use the knowledge and skills he learned abroad to help improve the lives of his family and countrymen. On June 19, 1861, Jose Rizal was born in Calamba in the Philippines, Laguna Province. He is the seventh child of Don Francisco Mercado and Doña Chodora Alfonso.
Senyora, lalaki ang anak niyo. Lalaki po't malaki ang ulo.
As a young boy, he was able to write a poem about his hometown entitled A Memory of My Town, a poem that symbolizes his love for his town and reminiscing his beautiful memories as a young boy. Rizal's first teacher was his mother, Doña Chodora, who was a remarkably good educated woman. She taught Rizal alphabet, prayers, and many stories. And because of his intelligence, at the age of 8, Jose wrote a poem entitled To My Fellow Children. This poem revealed Jose's dedication to his once mother tongue. On 1872 to 1877, Jose Rizal was sent to Manila and was enrolled at Ateneo de Municipal, which later called as Ateneo de Manila. After graduating in Ateneo with the highest honor, with a degree of Bachelor of Arts, he decided to continue his education at the University of Santo Tomas. To justify these things is the clip of episode 5.
Tutunan na niya ang lahat ng dapat niyang matutunan. Hindi na niya kailangan mag-aral pa. Ang kaalaman ay magdadala sa iyo sa kapahamakan.
Despite of his mother's objections, he took up philosophy and letters because he was not yet certain of what career he would choose, and his father liked this course. But later on, he shifted to another courses. He took up medicine with the intention of curing his mother's failing eyesight. Shortly after finishing 4th year of his medical course, Rizal decided to continue his studies in Spain to finish his medical course due to his mother's illness.
Dahan. Nay, ako na po. Mas may dahilan ngayon para manatilit mag-aral ako sa Maynila, kuya. Tatapos ako ng medisina. Kung hindi kayang pagalingin ng mga doktor dito si inay, ako mismo magpapagaling sa kanya.
While Rizal continued his study, he also started to fall in love in a young lady named Leonor Rivera. But the mother of Leonor doesn't like Jose Rizal as his son-in-law, so to hide their relationship from their parents and friends, Leonor used a pen named Taimis. When Rizal went to Madrid in 1890, he sent a letter to Leonor for his love goodbye.
Sa huli nga'y dumating din ang sandali ng pighati, nang ako'y aalis na't mawawalay sa minithi. Paalam na, Leonor ko.
So while Rizal was in Madrid in 1890, at that time there was a tradition that marriage must be arranged first by both parents of the bride and the groom. So while he was in Madrid, he received a letter from Leonor Rivera was telling him of her future marriage to an Englishman and asked her forgiveness. Though Rizal met a lot of girls and it became his girlfriend, that no one of them could replace Leonor Rivera into his heart. On 1887, Jose Rizal was finally finished his studies. After the publication of the Noli Me Tangere and the uproar caused among the anti-Filipino elements, despite the warning of his brother Pasiano, his brother-in-law, and some of his friends, Jose Rizal was determined to return to the Philippines for some reason for him to operate his mother's eyes, to serve his people who had long been oppressed by Spaniards and tyrants, to find out himself how the Noli and his other writings were affecting Filipino and Spaniards in the Philippines, and lastly, to find out why Leonor Rivera had remained silent.
Kailangan ko umuwi ng Pilipinas. Kailangan ko mapatunayan sa kanila na hindi lamang ako puro salita at kulang sa gawa.
Anak, nilalagay mo sarili mo sa panganib kapag bumalik ka sa Pilipinas. Papatayin ka lang nila.
Lahat naman tayo mamamatay, Tay.
Jose Rizal came back to the Philippines to fight for justice, to fight for rights, and to fight for our freedom.
Kailangan na natin tapatan ng himagsikan ang kawalang hustisya sa ating bayan. Dahil kung hindi tayo lalaban ngayon, kailan ba?
Walang dapat ihingi ng tawad, lalo na't naging tapat ka sa iyong layunin, anak ko. Hindi kasalanan ng ibuhos mo ang lahat sa isang matayog na pangarap na lumaya ang bayan.
Mula sa araw na ito, hindi na tayo nasa ilalim ng Espanya. Mula ngayon tayo ay malaya. Tingnan ang sarili niyong kalayahan, mga kapatid! Mabuhay ang Katangalungan!
What does freedom really means? Does it mean having a right in your country? Some people may think the freedom is in money or in power. But for me, freedom is the feeling of unchaining yourself of all responsibilities, both personal, law, and itself. A freedom to love, a freedom to choose, a freedom to decide, and a freedom to fight. Freedom is to be able to do whatever you want without relying others for anything. To be free is to take responsibility for oneself completely. Freedom is everywhere yet nowhere. We are captured by the government, yet we are free. The lesson I've learned from this movie is that don't waste your time, appreciate every person you've met, cherish every memories, and fight for the things that you want. And to our hero, Dr. Jose Rizal, though you will never hear this or see this, but thank you for all your sacrifices. Because of you, we are free now.